less than 15 minutes introduction into supply chain, a little bit of background to supply chain, why supply chain is important today in the business world, and then to give you a concept of what supply chain is. After going through this short video presentation, then you will be able to explore further the other areas of supply chain which is demanded today for exploration, further exploration. Now, let me put to you the three challenges that today business is facing. Every business in the world, what are the key challenges they're facing? The first challenge in any business is very high competitive pressure. Every business has got a pressure, competition. You have a small convenience store, you got competition. You got a restaurant, you got competition. You got a university, you got a competition. You got a private hospital, you got a competition. So what is happening is when the competition is increasing, becoming bigger and bigger, then what will happen is price become very sensitive. Price become very sensitive. Yeah. And you find most of the products are becoming like commodity because of the competition. What is commodity? Like rice and sugar. You go to any shop, the price of rice is fixed. The price of sugar is almost fixed. Why? Because they become like commodity. So the first challenge in business world is actually the competitive pressure that the business world is getting. Yeah. So even for you talking about small and medium enterprises, hey, this is the bigger pressure that you get. Yeah. Now, what is next after that? The second thing that is happening is every business today in the world, the customers are demanding for flexibility. Customers want flexibility. You bring a student to the university and you say you have to study 3 years to get a degree. The student will ask you, can I study 2 years here and 1 year I study in my house, but I go through the lecture and I get a degree? They want flexibility. You go to a clinic for treatment. The patient, they ask the doctor, can I get my treatment through online? I got an Apple Watch which can tell me my heartbeat, my respiration. Based on that information I send to you, you give me your diagnosis and I get the drugs from the pharmacy. So every business wants flexibility. And my very easy example of flexibility is this. Yeah, I got water in this bottle. Now the water takes the shape of the bottle. If I take this water, I pour into this glass, the water takes another shape of the glass. So the water is very agile, very agile. The water can take different shapes, very agile. So this is what we call flexibility or agility in supply chain. You don't take your rules and regulation and you tell your customer, oh, my rule says this, my regulation says this, you have to follow this. Your customer don't want to do business with you. Your rules, regulation is for you. You don't take your rules and put it to your customer. They don't want. Like if Vietnam is trying to bring in or attract FDI, the country is trying to attract FDI coming into the country. When you want to attract FDI, foreign direct investment, you cannot put rules and regulation. You cannot say, I got 10 rules, you need to follow all rules. So your customer will ask, can you be flexible a bit? Can I pay you the tax after 5 years of making profit? Or can I pay you the tax when I bring in the equipment from US? Because every equipment I bring into the country, I need to pay tax to the country. Can I not pay the tax now? I don't pay the tax now. I pay the tax after 2 years. I take your product and put it in the bonded warehouse. So they want flexibility. I think in Vietnam, you already have bonded warehouse for flexibility for foreign direct investment. So today, the whole world is asking for flexibility. So supply chain demands very high flexibility. That's the second thing, pressure that you get in a business. Now, the third thing in business today, the business world is every customer of yours, they want good experience. They engage with you in a business for 6 months or 1 year, they want to have a good experience. Yeah. This is what your customers want. And next, they want you to treat them like partners. What is partners? What is a partner? Partner means willingness to share reward, willingness to share risk. So every customer of yours, whether a distributor or a retailer or a wholesaler or a supplier, they want you to share the risk and reward with them. Yeah. Like if your supplier is a big supplier, he gives you a supply of raw material. Your supplier will come and ask you, can I know how much profit you make on your product? If you say you make 25%, your supplier will say, I only make 10%. You make 25%. Can you share some percentage? Yes, you have to. Supply chain, you have to be transparent, no choice. So today, your customers want good experience from you. Your students studying here 3 years. After the 3 years they study, they finish, they go to job market. Do they come back to you and ask you, hi lecturer, how are you? Madam, how are you? You remember I was sitting in your class. I enjoyed your class. Do your students call you? If they don't call you, if they don't talk to you, meaning to say you have not delivered good experience. Your student will only call you if you have given good experience. Otherwise, they won't call you. So this is the third thing. So if you're doing a PhD on supply chain, these three things you have to put it in your chapter 1 as an introduction. Whatever field in supply chain you do, you have to put this in the introduction to say this is where the challenge for business is happening today in the world. Yeah. So that is the business situation. Now, what is the theory of supply chain? What is the theory of supply chain? Traditionally, business, you see, business works in silo. Business work in silo. I only care about myself. I don't want to know about my partner. I don't want to know. So they are like blocks. Yeah, they are like blocks, blocks, blocks. They block. They don't share. They don't share things. They block. Like for example, the warehouse guy and the manufacturer don't want to share information. Yeah, and that's why you find automobile industry, yeah? Car manufacturing. Sometimes you find at the warehouse they have hundreds of cars ready but not sold. The manufacturing guy produce more car and put it, but the marketing guy cannot sell. Why? Because they are silo. They operate silo. They don't share. The demand of the automobile information is not shared with the manufacturing guy. When they don't share, there is no supply chain. So this is the traditional supply chain where it is by silo. Everyone work. The manufacturing guy, the director of manufacturing thinks he is the king. He's the champion. Whereas the warehouse guy thinks, I am the champion. The retailer thinks he is the champion. Everyone thinks they are the champion. They are doing the best to the company by not sharing information. Now, this is wrong in supply chain. In supply chain, you cannot be silo. You must be sharing information. And when you share information, remember, today in the business world, it's not about just sharing information. One step higher, that is called real-time information sharing. Real-time information sharing. A very good example is like yesterday, we were running a class in Nigeria, Lagos. Dr. Kashaya was running the class. And Malaysian time, it is 9 p.m. But in Lagos, it was 1 p.m. 1 p.m., yeah. Real time. That's what a customer wants. Yeah. So we want to share information. Now, Here, I'm going to introduce to you two things. Number one, the word stream. Number two, the flow I'm going to introduce to you. Now, you are a company, manufacturing company. The focal firm is your company. Whoever decide is called upstream in your company. Yeah? Whoever this side of the chain is called downstream. Yeah? So who are the upstream? Your supplier is the upstream, first tier. Your supplier's supplier is your upstream. So who is in the downstream? Your distributor is in the downstream. Your wholesaler is there. Your retailer is there in the downstream. So in supply chain management, even microfinancing, you need to know who is in your upstream, who is in your downstream. Yeah, you need to know that. Yeah, that is your company, focal firm. That green box, the red box is called upstream, everyone. And then you have this side, everyone here is called downstream. Yeah. And here you see there's a flow of product. If your company is producing product, you flow of product. But if your company is producing, services, that is called flow of service. Hospital services, university services, finance is services, bank. So your product and services that flows from there to there. At the same time, you also have information. Remember, always when you see the process, if you see a straight line, it is material. If you see a dotted line, it means always information. This is process flow standards. Now look at the information flow. You see the information flow? Two ways. So this is called two-way information flow. I told you just now, information, you call it as real time, right? So now I'm telling you, information is real time and it should be two-way. Like how you want your distributor to share demand with you. What is the demand for next 6 months? You also want to share the same information with your supplier. What is the demand for the next 6 months? So this is called two-way information flow. Now, this is the theory of supply chain. Now, let us see what is happening. These are all the functions that you have in your company. These are all the functions you have in your company. Or you call it department. You have marketing department, you have finance department, you have accounts department, you have logistics department, you have supply material department, you have IT department, yeah, all operations. So these are all called functions. Now, what is happening? Here you find two-way real-time information has been shared. Yeah, nothing to hide. Everything you share information. When you share this information, now you take this information and you share with your upstream, you share this with your downstream. When you do the sharing, that's where the harmony of supply chain happens. So in supply chain, we want to share, like your microfinancing, you need to share information with your upstream, also with your downstream. Now let us see how, when you share information, what actually happens to the supply chain. Now this is what happened. You see that? When you share, everyone is happy. Everyone is happy because information being shared. Real time, two-way. This is what we want in a true supply chain. Yeah. Now the challenge in the business world is today, this is not happening. In microfinancing, this is not happening. In education, it's not happening. In hospital, this is not happening. So you as a researcher, you need to do research on why this is not happening. What are the challenges and why this is not happening? So while you're doing your PhD research, these are the topics that you need to explore. You need to study. Why? Why this kind of harmony is not happening? Why people are not getting harmonized? Yeah? Yeah? So you need to explore this. So those are the topics of supply chain that I would suggest that students work on. Why this harmony is not happening? In microfinancing, very good idea. But why this is not happening? You have the central bank supporting the small banks, and the bank give the money to the small and medium companies. But then why it is not getting so successful? Something is not right somewhere. So this is where PhD students will do their investigation. Yeah. So to give you a summary, to summarize for you, there are three things that will flow in a supply chain: information, product, and also money. No point talking to people saying, oh, my company is the best company. I got so much of product I sold. Yes, you sold so much of product, but how do you manage your cash? If you're not good in managing your account payable and account receivable, you are messing up your business. There's so many people out there, they say, oh, I sold so many units. My business, very good. Excellent. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But you're not good in managing your money going out, account payable, account receivable, payable and account receivable. If you're not good in this, you're messing it up. So that's where supply chain and finance are important. So you have three: product flow, service flow, money, how you manage your money, and how you manage your information. Okay? So this is just to give you an idea of what supply chain. Yeah. This is just to spark something in you, to light something in you, that from here you can look at some topics to be investigated. Yeah. Um, so I think I will end my session here, and I hope that this would have benefited all of you in terms of having a small understanding on supply chain management. All right. Thank you.